Hi everyone, welcome to a new episode of the Modest Geek. Today I want to talk about something that I have not had the chance to talk about, and that is Obi Wan Kenobi, the first 2 episodes of this series. So I haven't had the chance to talk about Obi Wan Kenobi, the first 2 episodes that came out Friday, 27th of May, and I'm not going to get into details as to why I was not able to do that. We're going to go through this few things. I don't want to get too much into details, but we're going to get into that in this video. Everything that I liked, everything that well, there's hardly anything that I didn't like or didn't enjoy, so pretty much we're gonna go about the things of this episode that I really enjoyed and I felt emotional about. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so at first, the first thing that comes to my head right now is the pace, the rhythm. We're going to talk about the rhythm of these 2 episodes. The first one, it was amazing. The pace, the way that we could see, they showed us, the way they showed us how Obi Wan Kenobi has been struggling, or how he is, at what stage in his life he is after 10 years of the Revenge of the Sith, and how they show that with this resource, this audiovisual resource of time repeating the same actions over and over again in his life to show us how he's living right now. I thought it was just beautiful. It's not a resource that it was never used before. It's a resource that a repetitive resource that it's used many times in many movies. But I loved it. And the one I'm talking about, to be more specific, is when he's working, cutting meat, apparently, and he slices a bit of extra meat after his shift, so he can take home, give a piece to his I believe I don't want to say mule, but like a horse, like. I'm pretty sure it has a name. I'm sorry of Star Wars fans. I don't know every name of everything. So, yeah. Now, I'm talking about that. That resource that it repeats. It's a repeated action. It's an action that repeats itself throughout the first episode until something breaks the pattern. And what something breaks the pattern is the fact that little Leia Organa gets kidnapped by some thugs, or pretty much people who's working for a certain person. We're gonna get into that later, but she gets kidnapped, and the father, who returned from Revenge of the Sith, wants Obi-Wan to help find them out, to find the girl, basically. So that resource to show everything that, how mundane his life has become, how much he's pretty much only caring not only about, and this is one of the things that I loved about it, how they showed the character through actions, how his mind is at the time, 10 years after everything that happened. And that is, for instance, by not taking action, which is something in screenwriting that they show you. So one of the first things, one of the many things, I don't know if it's the first things, but one of the things that they tell you is that characters speak through action, not words. That's what makes a character rich. If a character is talking while doing something, there's no richness in that. Like, I am this character and I am grabbing this pencil, and now I'm going to write down in my diary, and now I'm going to, I don't know, write a book, or write about a script, or write about something. I am going to rescue a dog. I am going to save the princess. That does not happen. And not that it doesn't happen. Actually, it could happen. It could be an interesting resource. But most often, you can find characters moving forward the plot through action, or the lack thereof. Still, even if there's no action, like what I'm saying, let me give you the example. Obi-Wan, when he sees that the person that is the other worker, it's getting less paid, and you can see in his eyes, or at least in his manners, or not manners, but in his body language, knowing Obi Wan Kenobi, he would probably, in a different time, would step up and probably stood up for that guy. And in this case, and that would be an action, stood up for somebody else, shows bravery, shows the fact, that you care, you want to protect people, and you don't like bullies. But anyway, so it shows character's intention, and it shows the character's personality, character's trait. And that is taking action, stepping forward, stepping up, and for the little guy, and so on. And that is taking an action, taking a stand, taking an action, doing something. And in this case, the opposite happens. You can see that Obi-Wan wants to do something about it with his very bone. The person who he's working for pretty much defies him. Do you have something to say? And he just stays quiet. He doesn't do anything. And that not doing anything, not taking action, is also an action in itself. It speaks mountains of a character. In this case, Obi Wan Kenobi has lost the will to even help people after everything that's happened. Not only that moment, but the moment that the other Jedi comes and finds him and asks him for help, and he refuses, and he might give an advice, but he still refuses to help him out. That's another thing, that's another action that shows you how the character is at this age and time, and how everything that happened with Anakin left him, which is alone and with nightmares, lost, or not lost, but just stuck, doing the same thing over and over again. And then until something happens, which is in this case Leia Organa being kidnapped, and the father reaching out to him because he's the only one he trusts, and he wants his help in getting her back, knowing how important she is. And Obi-Wan, at first, in fact, refuses. He does not want to help. He does not want to get involved because of everything that happened with Anakin. He feels like if he helps, he's not gonna be much of a help because he has failed Anakin. He failed his master, and he feels like whatever he does is not gonna end up good for Leia. And it took the father of this creature, the father of Leia, which I really enjoyed her character. I really like the actress that plays little Leia. I think it's fantastic. She's got that spark. She's got so much resemblance, not physically, but in spirit, like in personality, so much like her mother. And a little bit of her father too. You can see when she defies her cousin. Anyway, so her father goes all the way to Tatooine to find Obi-Wan and convince him to go look for the girl. And that's what breaks the pattern. That's what breaks the pattern. That's what makes Obi-Wan go into the desert, undig the box where his lightsaber is, put him on, and go find Leia. And that's the end of the first episode, and I love the flow of it. I love the pace. I don't know if intrigued by the new threats. We also saw the Grand Inquisitor the Inquisitors, but we saw the Grand Inquisitor himself and Reva, one of the Inquisitors, being pretty much like sort of like rebel, doesn't want to follow the Grand Inquisitor's orders. He just want to do whatever she wants in order to get Obi-Wan Kenobi, but you don't know why. You don't know why she's so obsessed with him, so obsessed with getting him, so obsessed with finding him. Even after 10 years of searching, she's still obsessed with finding him, for what we see in this first episode. So it was an interesting, and you can see, what type of counterpart, if I may say, Obi-Wan Kenobi will be facing throughout this season. Because Reva is a no mess, she has no mercy, and that is shown clearly in the first episode, in some of the first scenes. What I liked about the episode, though, as well, is how it started. It gives you a recap of everything that happened before in the prequels. So that's a nice touch. If you haven't seen the prequels, it sort of like gives you a summary of everything that happens, and it's so well edited that I kind of got emotional. Even after watching the 3 movies before the series begun, it kind of gets you a little emotional. And it gets in, and the performance, Ewan McGregor in both episodes, he's amazing. You can feel his struggle. You can feel, I have nothing but praise for him. And Leia, of course, little Leia, I thought, again, like I said, I think that she nailed it. And her, bratness, I love her bratness. I love how much resemblance in spirit she has to her mother, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. So jump into the and of course how it ended, that first episode, when the woman asked him, "So, are you coming or what?" And he's like, and he doesn't say anything. He doesn't need to say anything. It's just that shot with the lightsaber and the cape, like, covering it. It just like shows you, yes, Obi-Wan is back, baby. I'm pretty sure he's not fully back, like from one episode to the other. We're gonna see that. We're gonna see him being, back throughout the season. And I love that. But he's like, yeah, the Jedi is back. Now, jump into the second episode, real quick. I love that we get to see Obi-Wan more in a sort of like investigating mode. Like trying to do some research, like being the investigator, searching. I guess that I think it was kind of a callback to more of the Star Wars clone of Wars clones, where you can see Obi-Wan and Anakin, more doing a research, more doing more investigating, to trying to get to whatever they wanted to get. Like I said, I haven't seen that many episodes, but for what I gather, they had more of an investigating, trying to find out what's going on, and you get to see that in the second episode. But this time, what I love about this is that we see Obi Wan Kenobi doing it all by himself with no resources. It's just him, lightsaber, and the knowledge of where the princess was taken. But he has to do, he has to. I love that. He has to. It feels like an adventure. He has to ask people around. And then, that takes him to another place, and that place takes it to another place, and so on and so forth until he finds Leia. And I love that. I really I like that bit. I enjoyed their relationship, like their sort of like the brat girl, like the brat Leia, who wants to do whatever she wants to do, and even Obi himself tells her that she reminds him of someone who's no longer with him, but of course, I mean, the mother. He also knew the mother, and she was behaving exactly somewhat like her. And I thought that was amazing, and I really enjoy the chemistry, that sort of like type of Uncle Ben and Leia connection. That, of course, it didn't start off like on the right foot because she didn't know who he was. So, but I like how it's building up. How it's building up to be more of a sort of like uncle and niece type of relationship. I don't know why is it about Star Wars. I think they kind of figured it out, or maybe not, but like with Grogu and the Mandalorian, they have this bond, more like a father-son like bond. And it's gorgeous, it's cute as hell. It's beautiful to see the bond they have, the relationship, the connection they have with each other. And having said that, now we see Obi Wan Kenobi and little Leia having somewhat of a similar chemistry or dynamic. Maybe not so much fatherly like father-daughter type of bond or connection, but more like what I guess it will develop throughout the season. More like a uncle / niece type of chemistry or type of dynamic. But I really liked it. I thought it was really interesting. I really enjoyed it. Kumail Nanjiani, I honestly thought he was actually gonna be an actual Jedi, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit disappointed that he was not an actual Jedi. He was just ripping off people, using tricks and pretending to be a Jedi to gain money or credits. But it was still exciting to see. It was still exciting to see in this second episode. And this second episode, it was a bit. The first episode was longer, but even though the pace of it and the rhythm was a bit slow, or at least it was like more like monotonous or like just easy peasy. This was a little bit more upbeat. Definitely more upbeat. More things happening. More action. Heck, we go from desert to a city completely different, filled with people, filled with bounty hunters, filled with lights. Completely different scenario from the first one. Like the contrast of the two episodes in lights, in places, it's pretty obvious. So a lot of things happen, and you can still see Reva going really hard trying to find Obi Wan Kenobi. Now she's getting closer. They're on the same planet. They almost get caught, but the Grand Inquisitor step up because he wanted to take the glory. He wanted to be the one to capture Obi Wan Kenobi. So Reva killed him, and that was surprising as hell, because I honestly thought that the Grand Inquisitor was gonna be around for a bit longer than just 2 episodes. And the Grand Inquisitor getting killed by Reva actually shocked me. It did. It shocked me. I mean, it was like, whoa, okay, yeah, he died so soon, killed by Reva. That's insane. And, you know, it shows you how far Reva was willing to go just to get Obi-Wan. But the question is why? The question was why. And the question was answered because she was working for Darth Vader. And the big reveal for Obi-Wan was there. Finally, he learned the truth that Anakin is still alive. He actually ended up becoming Darth Vader. And all of his nightmares, all of that, it's just all of those things. Now, we're gonna have to see how he deals with them. But of course, he was shocked. You can see clearly he was shocked because Ewan McGregor is an amazing performer, and it's impossible not to, see that in his expression. And we're pretty much gonna see how he deals with the fact that now he knows that he didn't wound up killing him. He's actually pretty much alive. And that reveal, it was, and the fact when he was able to escape Reva, and he was like, Anakin, like in shock. And then we see Darth Vader waking up. That was dope. That was like chills, man. That was like chills. The whole 2 episodes, I just wanted to hug Obi-Wan so bad, because everything he's been through, all the people he has lost, and when he rescued Leia from falling using the Force, and you could see his struggle because he hasn't used the Force in so long, and trying to make her levitate so she won't break her neck, or just like falling to her death, basically. And he's reaching out to the Force, and he just like gets it, like he's connected once again with the Force. Man, I was like, God, Obi, I just want to give you a hug. Can I give you a hug? And I just, yeah, I enjoyed the 2 episodes a lot. I am looking forward to see more of it. Simply because I just love Obi-Wan. I want to see if Ahsoka shows up. I want to see if Cal Kestis shows up, because I really want Cal Kestis to show up. I want to see more. I want to see Jesus. I think there are chances of a lot of interesting characters to show up again. Not only Anakin, which is something that I forgot to mention in the podcast that I made about Obi-Wan Kenobi, is the fact that Anakin, the actor who played Anakin Skywalker, was also reprising his role. Hayden Christensen, he's reprising his role as Darth Vader. So that's gonna be interesting, and I think he's gonna be the big baddie of the show, other than Reva. I think that Reva is also gonna be one of the biggest baddies as well, and we'll get to see. We'll see what's gonna happen. Qui-Gon, will he show up? We saw Obi trying to reach out to his master, but no response. And I think we actually got to see Boba Fett in the episode. I don't know if I'm crazy. If you want, just leave in the comments down below, please, because I don't know if I was going crazy. The second time I saw it, or the third time I saw it, I couldn't help but wonder if the guy who was asking for money in the helmet was Boba Fett. So yeah, if you can, leave. Also, if you want to leave in the comments down below, what are your thoughts? What were your reactions? What have you thought of these first 2 episodes? Please feel free to do so. But yeah, those were really they weren't like super emotional, but yeah, they were still like chills, man. Anyway, so yeah, thank you very much. That's it. I'm probably gonna do this every Friday, and see what's gonna happen with our beloved Obi Wan Kenobi throughout the season. And see you this Friday. And thank you very much for sticking all the way to the end. You can feel free to check out any other video that I have on this YouTube about anything you want, if it's here, of course. Thank you very much for watching. And as always, take care.